In this video, we'll get Google Drive nice and organized. I'm going to try to log what I do so that you can better keep track of what I'm saying and talking about. And to start, I'll show you what the goal is. I'm just opening up a screenshot of what I want these Google Drive folders to later look like. The majority of these, like history, LA, and math, are just going to come from your core classes. We can most likely ignore something for gym and for most drama classes, unless you have your teachers later have you create something. So the couple things that probably need an explanation are this archive folder and then the personal folder. Well, you'll probably end up using your Google Drive for things that aren't 100% school related, and if they start to clutter up your Google Drive account, it's going to be a good idea to move them into this personal folder. Also, this archive folder, you're going to have a mix of things from summer school, a mix of things from the year before, and by having an archive folder, this is a place where you can keep all of the old stuff. If you're not already logged into Chrome, get logged in, find the stack of Google Apps in the top right corner of Google, and go to Drive. If you have a different way you like to get there, that's fine. Right now, my folder is super empty. I'm going to move this into the trash. Chances are you're looking at previous existing things. So to start, let's make a folder called New. And if you're not sure where I clicked, you can go back in the video by recycling back. And you're also jumping back and forth maybe between YouTube, watching me giving these instructions, while also doing it yourself. So do use that pause button and do act on each instruction I give. Don't wait until you have 5 commands, because it'll be harder to remember. Currently it's in 2019, so let's type DS in capital letters. If you have lowercase, go back and change that. And then 2018 for 2018. If the current year is 2020, then put 2019. If it's 2025, put 2024. But just figure out whatever the previous year would be. So the D stands for day, the S stands for school. Click Create. The next thing I want you to do is if you have things from the previous year, I want them to get moved into this folder. Pause the video and get yourself organized. So you might even have a past old tutorial folder from a previous teacher. And if you no longer have this same tutorial, drag that into 2018. Okay, if you haven't paused that and got cleaned up, do so now. Now that everything is pushed into the 2018 folder, we're going to add another new folder called Archive. To the left of the 1 key, you'll see a wavy line. While holding the Shift key, press that and you'll get the tilde to show up. After that, type capital A, R, C, H, I, V, E, Archive. By putting a tilde in front of that, you always know it will show up earliest in the alphabet. Yes, archive starts with A, but this moves it up even further than anything else that would have the letter A with it. Since you don't need to see the Day School 2018 stuff very often, drop that into your archive folder. Now we'll add your classes. you need to pause and get caught up, do so. First, we'll add math, capital M, A-T-H. Click Create. Next, we'll add technology, capital T-E-C-H-N-O-L-O-G-Y. Click Create. If you need to get caught up, use that pause button. If you prefer LA, type LA. If you prefer English, type English. But either way, make a decision and create your language arts or your English class. Since social studies and science sort of fall under the auditory visual classes, you can either call this AV or SS/SCI. We're still not done with our classes. Let's see what we've left out. We don't have a history class in there yet. We do have LA. And if you're an upper school student that would rather have history separate from social studies science, you can make that choice as well. Now this really covers all the classes, but you also might have some random things that you get from friends or just some pictures you save. So let's make one last folder called Personal, P-E-R-S-O-N-A-L, and click Create. Now we're in this My Drive. Click this right pointing triangle to see what happens when we fan out what is under My Drive. Well, there's all your folders. Two choices. You can either double click Personal here or do a single click to enter this folder. When I'm clicked just on My Drive, it displays My Drive. But if I go inside of a folder, the display shows that under My Drive, I'm looking at the Personal folder. And since this is highlighted in blue, I'll add a new folder, and I will call this Images. So that if I ever save any pics or do anything that I want to keep, but isn't really totally school related, I can make a folder in here to store those different things. Make an Images folder. If you have loose files from current classes that now have a place to go, sneak them in here. Some of you may have a folder called Google Classroom. And if you do, you can either keep it there, because some of you might like that, or you can archive it to conceal it. With all these folders created, make sure everything is completely cleaned up, and then even go to your trash. Take a moment or two to double check things, and then empty that trash. But once your Google Drive folders look like this, and are neatly organized, check in with your teacher, make sure it matches the expectation, and that everything's cleared, as well as your trash, and then you can move on to the next step.